Well, good evening. Tonight we are back in the little workshop. Want to start off by saying that Mick has been poorly recently and has been in hospital, so wishing Mick all the very best, speedy recovery, and we hope to be back in the workshop with him soon, because it's not as fun without him. So yeah, get well soon, Mick. So tonight, because we are here, I'm going to be trying to get the shunt box, and I think this is called the distribution box. Liam keeps telling me what it is and I keep forgetting. Cleaned up, ready for paint. So this bit's going to be really visible in Bob, because this sits in between the two front seats. It gives you information around the battery and does some weird and wonderful stuff with the FFR gear as well, and the top bit is a jerry can holder. So plan is to get this stripped as best as we can. It's quite intricate, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. I started on the shunt box previously. I can't remember if that is in a previous video. It might have been when we were doing the little stuff. So the front cover I took off. They got this off, undid all these bolts here and cleaned that bit up. The edges are going to be a little bit trickier to get into, but I was trying to do it on the bench without holding it, and I think it's actually going to, hang on, we might be able to get it into the vise just about. We'll see. If not, I'll have to rig up something just to keep it steady, because with the angle grinder with the wire brush on, it pushes it about all over. So yeah, tonight that's the aim, get this cleaned up fully, so this is ready for priming and then painting in the NATO, and the same with this one. We'll see how we get on. Surprising how long this takes. I've said it in a few of the videos doing paint stripping, but just to do a decent job it takes a really long time, so we'll see how we get on. Right, so on the top here we've got this little cap that screws in. You have a little retaining screw on there to whip that off. The caps come off. That should give us a nice clean shot at cleaning this bit up. I'm just going to be careful around this area here. Once we've done this, I'll take this off as well and then clean it. But what I don't want to do is take that off then, and then all the muck and grime gets inside. So we'll leave that on for now. Clean up these sides, get all this done, flip it over, do the other bit, and do the back side. And then that should be this done. Right, just having a little rest. The shunt box has come up pretty good here. The sides and that are all good. Just getting in these nooks and crannies with the grinder's a bit of a pain, and my little Makita wire wheel has almost bit the dust. I'm not missing doing this stuff. We've had quite a few weeks now of bolting stuff back on Bob. This prep stuff's just horrible. You get all PPE'd up because the stuff that comes off this is horrible. I've done it a few times where I've just cracked on without putting my mask on, and the stuff that comes out your nose for the next day or two is grim. Thanks for stopping by the way, and if you're interested in more content like this, or maybe slightly better than this when we're in the workshop and doing big stuff, please do subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you a thing. Took me about 10 minutes to get the bloody wire brush off the thing, so just going to give this a little whirl on the wheel, see if I can get the bench grinder on it. I don't think I will because the cupboard's a bit close, but we'll give it a try. Right, so I'm going to start taking some of the bits off this so we can get better access. Right, so we've got a bolt here, and then in here, I can't quite see what I'm doing, 5/16. And we'll whip that little fella off. Here we go, I think we've got him. Little fella. I mean, it's just a dude. Oh, and this side is a flathead screw. Flathead. Right. So I think that is, there we go. So that section's off, so I mean that is now easier to clean up in total. It was easy just to do the edges with the bit clamped in the vise, but rest of that should be a pretty much a doddle. Pop that in the vise and get cleaning. So yeah, we'll get this cleaned up. I think that's going to be a job for next night now. And then also it makes this section a little bit more accessible to get cleaned up. Right, I've been busy off camera. I've got something to show you in a minute, but first of all, I've got a bag of fixings, or a couple of bags of fixings. Look at that, I'm actually getting used to bagging and tagging stuff. Although I haven't actually tagged that one, but I know what it's from. I'm just going to clean these up on the bench grinder, and then hopefully put all of them back on, and then I'll show you what I've been working on. I am all done. So what I wanted to show you was, if you remember earlier on in the video, I said I'd take the shunt box back to Mick to get it painted up, do some paint stripping. Well, actually, I had a little bit of time on my hands and I got it sorted. So we have one refurbished shunt box. Check that out. So I've cleaned up all the fixings on it. So it's very heavy. So like all the little nuts and bolts around here, I've cleaned them on the bench grinder. This 14mm one that sits in here, that's almost like it's like a drain plug almost. It just covers off a screw that's inside. I have no idea how kind of all the internals work on these things, but yeah, I mean, it looks cool when you open it up and it's just full of military electronical trickery. Cap's all nicely cleaned up. The tether is still intact, even though I nearly got it wound around the bench grinder. And then on the bottom, in the end, these plugs I couldn't get out, so they're held in pretty well, and I didn't want to mess with anything inside because, like I say, I don't really know how all that operates. But the earth strap has been cleaned up, so now it looks lovely and coppery, if not a little bit spiky, but we can bash all that down. Cleaned up obviously the wing nut for that as well, so that's all looking beautiful. And then my favourite bit was I got the plate cleaned up pretty well. So I've cleaned the fixings in there, the little flatheads that go on, and also managed to get a razor scraper on there, the kind that you'd like use on your windows, and scraped off the layer of kind of, it was almost like overspray. It didn't look like it had properly been painted over, but it was like overspray. So cleaned all that off. And yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I think that has come up lovely. So that'll sit on the, I guess, front of the tub, if you want to call it that, because it's not the back really. The back is the back. So kind of on the front of the tub, the bulkhead part of the tub that sits into the cab, so that'll go on there. And then we'll have the distribution box that I'm also working on then sat next to that. So this is going to look pretty smart sat there now. It doesn't look brand new, but it looks pretty smart. So I'm pleased with that. I think that'll look good in the cabin. And I believe that when the Land Rovers came off the production line, or sorry, when the Land Rovers were fitted with the radio gear, not off the production line, these boxes would have been black originally, because when I was taking the paint off, it was a layer of NATO, then it was a layer of black. Underneath it was like a sand colour, so I don't know if that was like the primer or something like that they'd used, but yeah, so stripped all that back anyway, and then hit it with some etch primer and some black. And I didn't use really expensive paint or anything like that. Just in case anyone is interested, I got this etch primer off of Amazon. It was £20 for 3 cans, and the nice thing is it's got decent fan nozzle on it as well, if you see that. So that was really good, and to do that I put 2 coats on, and it probably used just about half a tin. And then the other one I got, which was Liam's recommendation, was from Tool Station. Now I think this was £5.99 a can, so I got 2 cans because I'm going to do the distribution box as well. This is probably used, feels like it's down to about there, so maybe just over half, but I did about 4 coats on that just to bring out that nice shine. So yeah, not bad, and like the paint's fairly cheap for paint, I guess. £5.99 a tin and 20 quid for 3 etch primers, and that stuff, really impressed with it. I would definitely use this again. For value for money and coverage, it was great.